On a winter sea, sound travels farther than you want it to. You can hear a bell across the waves. You can hear ice crack miles away. And sometimes, if you're unlucky, you hear singing where no human voice should be. I used to stand on the bridge and listen to a voice like that. Spotlights on the pool deck, Christmas lights strung around the railings, passengers wrapped in blankets holding their drinks up to keep warm. Now the lights are gone. The deck's empty, but the song is still out there. And tonight, in the frost on the windows, it sounded close enough to answer. You're listening to Dead Reckoning Radio. 12 nights, 12 days, a Christmas cruise that slipped off the map and kept going. Call me the captain, call me lost. Both, they're still true. Last night it was the bell, 5 wrong rings on an empty ship. Tonight, the sea starts singing back. Long before holiday cruises and midnight buffets, the sea already had a reputation for talking to people. Different coasts, same warning. Sirens in the old stories, beautiful voices on the rocks luring sailors to wrecks. The selkies further north, seals that could shed their skins, walk as humans, then drag lovers back beneath the waves. Rusalka in colder rivers and lakes, drown women all hair and teeth and grief, singing men into the water. Sea brides, water wives, daughters of the deep, different names, same idea. If the sea sounds too kind to you, you're already in trouble. Even in the modern charts, the stories don't stop. There's a place mariners whisper about called Mistral Bay, where mermaids and sirens are said to live. Some call it a superstition, some plot their course around it. Then you get the winter legends. Ships trapped in ice hearing carols out over the floes. Silent night drifting from nowhere in the middle of a black sea. Voices carrying across frozen water so clearly that men swore they heard their own mothers calling. Science gives you one answer. Long dark nights, overworked crews, radio interference, and atmospheric tricks. Sound bends, echoes stack, static fills in the blanks. But when you're tired enough, lonely enough, and the sea starts sounding like someone you miss, does it matter where the song is really coming from? On that last Christmas cruise, we had a headliner. A woman with a voice that could cut through wind and engine noise like it owned the night. She'd take the stage under the fake snow and colored lights. Holiday set list, big finish on the carols, and the passengers would fall silent just to hear her hit the high notes. I was the one steering the ship while she sang us through Christmas Eve. I don't say her name now. Feels like handing the sea one more thing it can use. But I remember the sound. Back then, if I heard her when she wasn't on stage, I could always explain it away. The rehearsal bleeding through the PA. A recording playing in some bar I couldn't see. An echo bouncing off the steel, carrying old notes into new corners. Even when it started creeping into the comms, a bar of music slipping between channels, a half-finished lyric caught under weather reports, I told myself it was interference. Cruise ships home with ghosts of their own past nights, even when they're still afloat and full of life. Out here, on the Spectral Sea side of the map, those explanations don't hold as well. The bells ring on their own. The western moss sits around me like an old bruise. Mirror harbors, pirate shadows, all of it waiting. And somewhere between the static and the deep, her voice still writes the signal. Not a random note now, not a glitch. Full lines of songs we use to blast across the pool deck. Carols reshaped into invitations. Sometimes it's just humming, right in the noise bed. Sometimes it's words, telling me there's a way home. Every time it happens, the broadcast flickers, the meters jump, the channels cross. For a few seconds, I can't tell if I'm listening to a memory or someone live on the line. But the offer is always the same underneath. Cut the transmission follow the song, come in out of the cold. And I'm telling you, as a man who has steered real ships through real storms, that call is a trap. I've been out here long enough that I don't trust clocks anymore. I don't know what day it is on land. I don't know if the ports I remember are still stringing their lights for Christmas, or if they've forgotten us completely. What I do know, what I feel in my bones, is that the haunting isn't just ship-wide anymore. It's personal. It isn't the drowned chanting from the depths. It isn't some faceless chorus. It's her voice, a passenger, a headliner, someone whose Christmas songs I introduced over the PA on the last holiday run. Someone I was responsible for. Someone I cared about. The way a captain cares for every soul on his manifest. And maybe a little more than that if I'm honest with myself. Now I hear her in the frost lines on the inside of the bridge windows. I hear her through the static when I replay old safety announcements, and I can't tell if she was always there on the tape or if the sea is stitching her in now. Some nights I convince myself it's just residual audio, an old recording bleeding through. Other nights, I'm not sure there's a difference between memory and transmission anymore. Maybe it's her ghost. Maybe it's the sea using her voice like bait. Maybe it's something that was always out here, picking through my memories for the right shape to wear. I walk the same decorated corridors in my head. Garlands, wreaths, the glow of a stage waiting for her to step into the light. But the reality now is an empty lounge, an echoing hall, and a song that won't stop trying to pull me off the air. Every time she says come home, I stay with the microphone instead. Every time the static clears around her, I hold this course in the dark. And if that means I'm losing my grip, if that means I'm talking to the void instead of answering the only voice that still knows my Christmas, then that's the choice I'm already making. Tonight the Sirens sang through the frost and offered me harbor. I stayed with you instead, with this broken signal, with this ship that refuses to stop sailing. But the more I listen, the more I wonder if we were ever meant to make it home. Maybe the cruise was always heading for a story we didn't know we were in. Frozen dinners on doomed expeditions, carols sung over ice that was already cracking, men raising a Christmas toast in ships that history had already marked for the bottom. Tomorrow, we set my little holiday voyage among all the others that never came back. We'll talk about Christmas feasts held in ships that were already lost, and what it means when you realize your celebration might have been awake from the very beginning. This is Night 6, signing off, for now.